We're going to try to wrap up Siman Reish Adi Beis, halachas of mincha on Shabbos, and we're going to go through the Piskei Tshuva, some of the main points that he says that are very relevant for the actual halacha. Brings in the first dose of the Siman that, and this is a topic that we already learned, that any part of mincha shouldn't be said before the time of mincha. Mincha is 6.5 halachic hours in the day. We're talking about mincha and Shabbos. But in general, this applies. That includes Ashrei, Korbanos, Uvalotzion. All of that should not be before. Okay? Certainly, one should not lane before. There's a custom that the Chazan wears a talis during mincha because of Kavod Kriyas Torah. It's in honor of the laning that they're reading from the Torah. Okay? Whole discussion about when to put on the talis. There's an interesting Arizal. He says that you put it on after Kaddish of Volatium before you say Vanis Filas. I've never seen that once in my life. There are many customs when it comes to wearing a talis that they're lack of. You could do whatever you want at the end of the day. One interesting point that we haven't seen until now is that there's a custom of men of great deed to try to daven mincha as chazan in order to get to 100 brachos by saying chazar sashatz. It should be pointed out also that we haven't seen brought down, but for us that we wear ties on Shabbos, you should wear a tie for mincha as well. In the footnotes, in footnote 5, quotes the source of this ruling that one should not say anything before the time of mincha. It's the Shalos Tshuva Sis Eliezer, which we learned together in Chelik Yud Siman Chaf, and he says b'diavad that if you did this after Chatzos, okay, this is a discussion. Neishal Avram, you fulfill your obligation. The Shalos Tshuva's Minchas Yitzchok is lenient regarding a tainus seaboard. A public fast, if you lane before 6.5 halachic hours into the day, you could be lenient. They say maybe the same thing would apply on mincha on Shabbos, but it's preferable not to do so before mincha. Now, according to this reason that we just saw before, there's a custom to wear a talis at mincha because it's in honor of the laning. According to that, you would not need a talis on Yom Tov mincha. But as we know, we have different customs what to do, and depends on the place over there. Okay, in footnote 9, he quotes the Shalos Chuvas Rivivois Ephraim Chelik Zayin Siman Yud, says that there's a custom to wear the talis before Ashrei. And that's the custom that we do in most places. Some places they don't wear talis at all. Some only do it yontif. Whatever you do is legitimate. Yeah.
So is this? He says that you wear the talis covered a Torah.
Yeah.
So does that mean that if you people who don't wear a talis for the shots by mincha or any tefillah,
Yeah.
when they do get up for an aliyah, they should be wearing a talis.
Different customs over there. Yeah, different customs. We'll have to learn about it more when we learn about the halachas of sitzis more in depth. See if it comes up. Well, it does come up about the laning, so we'll learn about it more then. Now, we're talking over here about Vanis Filasi. All right. I'm gonna share now both sides of the coin with the Anis Filasi. All right. We already learned about it slightly. Now we're gonna learn a little bit more about it. Some say it's very special. It's very special. It awakens Hashem's mercy. So Zohar discusses, and therefore you should say it while standing. It should be pointed out. The Aruch HaShulchan explicitly says. Actually, I want to try to bring the screen share this very important Aruch HaShulchan over here, because this is fascinating. I'm not sure if I highlighted it or not. I think I did. Yeah, I did. There's a very interesting Aruch HaShulchan regarding Vanis Filasi. First of all, he says we don't say Shema Yisrael when we take out the Sefer Torah at Mincha and Shabbos, and he says I don't know why. V'lo yadati tam bazeh. All right. He tries to give a reason, but he says like this: when you take out the Sefer Torah, you stand. Similarly, when you say Kaddish, the custom among Ashkenazim is to stand. Consequently, you're also going to stand for Vanis Filasi. Not worthwhile. Who's going to sit down? You're standing because you're standing for Kaddish. Now you have to stand right after they're going to take out the Torah. What, you're going to sit for 4.5 seconds when you say Vanis Filasi? For 15 seconds, you're going to sit? Some say you should stand during Vanis Filasi. I don't see any reason to stand, says the Aruch HaShulchan. The reason is convenience. You're not going to sit for 15 seconds. Up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You're not going to do it. Oh, but comes along. Gotta get this out of here. Yeah, that's where we like it. But comes along the Piskei Chuvos, and he says, no. Anis Filasi is so special, and therefore you should stand for it. So you have an argument what to do. It's interesting that he doesn't even acknowledge this Aruch HaShulchan in the footnotes. That's something to think about. When you learn properly, you see how the Svarim are picking and choosing what they want to, what their ruling is. So I don't think you did justice over here. Not quoting the Aruch HaShulchan. That's not nice.
But the Sephardim then, like, they sit for Kaddish.
Yeah, okay, fine. But for Ashkenazim,
No, I'm saying,
yeah,
so
okay,
so for them,
okay. So then it wouldn't be no gay, fine. But still, the Aruch HaShulchan holds you don't need to sit. You don't need to stand. Excuse me. So he didn't quote it. It's a miss. Okay.
Shabbos Mevarchim, we say we bench Rosh. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we bench Rosh Chodesh,
Yeah.
and then they put you put the Sefer Torah down, or you put it back. Maybe the person who has Hagba holds it, I guess, and then you sit for Asher, and then you get up right away.
You don't have to sit for Asher there.
But a lot of people do. No,
You don't need to though. I noticed
Yeah.
that people do. You don't need to. The whole reason of sitting for Ashrei, they make a mistake from mincha. You're supposed to sit for Ashrei before you dive in Shemona Esrei mincha, so you don't jump into Shemona Esrei. But over
Yeah.
here, you're not jumping into anything. You've been in shul for an hour.
Yeah.
An hour plus.
Who's read by Ashrei,
By Musaf. I haven't seen anyone who says you need to sit for that. You don't need to sit. Same idea though. I think what David is saying is that like the Aruch HaShulchan, like
You get up and
for 2 seconds. I mean, Ashrei is a little bit longer than Vanis Filasi, but still.
There's no concept of sitting for Ashrei while it's here anymore.
No.
Okay.
Concept where mincha? The
No,
mincha.
I'm talking about the
Also mincha on Shabbos. You don't need to sit for Ashrei and Avaltzion. That's a good point. We never discussed it. You don't need to sit because you're not diving Shemona Esrei after anyways. You're doing laning. In fact, there's some who say that you should stand for Kadosh Kadosh and Baruch Kavod Kedusha.
I think Rabbi Chaim stood.
Yeah, there's some that do. We don't go that way. We'll have to learn more about that when we learn Simon. Was it Kuflamet Aleph over there, right?
by regular mincha.
Yeah, no. Mincha's in Reish Lam and Gimel. So right before,
right
by Hilchos Tachnan, near that area. Okay. Anyways, so he says like this, based on the Mikubalim, okay, you should say Vanis Filasi specifically when the Aron Kodesh is open, right? So according to that, even though people say it immediately after Kaddish before the Aron Kodesh is open, you should really wait. Or say it again when the Aron Kodesh is open. The idea of saying it specifically when the Aron Kodesh is open. That's right. Something to think about that people don't think about. Okay. Now, let's say we have a situation that someone made a mistake. And they lane from the wrong parsha. We already learned about this in the past. Okay? One would fulfill his obligation. However, if you remembered before everyone got an aliyah, so then the remaining aliyahs that did not lane from the parsha, it should lane the proper parsha.
That one aliyah, right?
Yeah. Now, he says like this, laning on Shabbos, a mincha is not a full-fledged obligation, and it's the least important laning, basically, of the week. Okay? It's even less.
Did the first two and Ezra did the last one, right?
Whatever?
We said that Moshe did the first two and Ezra did the last one.
What do you mean first two?
Sheni and Chamishi.
Correct. Moshe enacted the laning during the week, Monday, Thursday. Ezra did this one on Shabbos mincha. So laning on Yontif is more important than this laning. Laning on Monday and Thursday more important. This was enacted, as we discussed in the past at length, because of the Yoshvi Koronos. They don't come to shul during the week. Many explanations. Yoshvi Koronos around 7. And therefore, if someone missed this laning on Shabbos, he would not be obligated to make sure he hears a laning on Shabbos. Some are lenient to daven mincha even after sunset, So they are allowed to read from the Torah then as well. Okay. If it was delayed and they don't have the ability, they could only lay mincha. Excuse me, they could only lane at mincha, or they could daven shmona esrei. Which one is more important, laning or davening? The answer is shmona esrei, because that's a full-fledged obligation. Okay, so this is an important line that number one, if it's after sunset, you could still lane, and number two is that if you could only do one, and we're going to learn more about this because it's really late, then you would actually daven.
What's the, I guess what's the deadline? Because everybody's different.
Yeah. So what's the deadline of the laning and everything? So we're going to see more about that in Rav finishes Chuvas.
We've got a different
Okay.
time.
This is an important halacha. Yeah, maybe we'll see. Preferably you do before sunset, of course. But the question is, how much after sunset could you do it? If
And I wonder if it would be preferable to get tefillah in before sunset than Kriyas Torah.
that's what he's saying. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah. If you made a mistake and after laning the Baal
All right, I'm gonna see. Oh, you're in second. I'll send.
the Baal Kori made a mistake and he said the Kaddish, he said the Chatzi Kaddish. So he made a mistake. You should not say another Chatzi Kaddish before Shemona Esrei. So if you made a mistake, you're not supposed to say Kaddish after laning, but he did. So in that case, you should not say another one right after they put the Sefer Torah back. You should just go right into Shemona Esrei. Now we'll see the Nishma Shabbos is going to say that he actually would say another Kaddish before Shemona Esrei. Okay, so we're going to see about that. Different psak over there. Different ruling. So you have machlekes if you say Kaddish again if you messed up. This is questionable. This is similar to the psak of Harfinus and the Nishma Shabbos because we say so many psukim after. We say the David Mizmor, etc. So furthermore, the whole reason, according to the Yabbets, that we say Kaddish, that we don't say Kaddish twice, meaning after laning and before Shemona Esrei, it's because of Tircha de Tzibura. But based on this, those who would say Kaddish again would have Ratter line because you have those psukim which might constitute as interruption. General halachas they don't, as we learned in depth in the past. But this is where it comes from. For some reason, there was an interruption that was made in between the laning and Shemona Esrei. Let's say you relocated and you daven in another place after. Okay? So in that case, certainly you would say Kaddish again because you had an interruption before Shemona Esrei. So you say Kaddish after laning, then you walk to a different location for some reason. Minyan Gan daven there. Now, Sefer Torah was put back. You said a lot of psukim in between. Now you say Kaddish again. Okay? You should say more psukim and then say Kaddish again. Okay? I think we already did Sid Kascha. We did this, right? Okay, we'll do it again. He's talking about if there's a chasen during Shiva and Shul, you don't say Sid Kascha. During Shavuot Brachos, excuse me, Shiva. During Shavuot Brachos, if you have someone who just got married, okay, and now it's during Shavuot Brachos, it's within the 7 days after getting married, and one of those days fall out on Shabbos, and he's at mincha, you would not say Sid Kascha. Okay. Similarly, if there's a milah that was in the shul, right? If the milah happened in the morning, the bris happened in the morning, you would say Sid Kascha. However, the Bali bris, aka the Aviyah ben, the father of the son, the Moel, and the Sandak, would not say Sid Kascha themselves.
Even though it was in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we don't bring calls like that, right?
Yeah.
Also, they don't say.
Correct. Regarding if you're in the house of an Avil, there are different customs. You should say Sid Kascha or not. The custom among smart Sfardim is not to say it. Ashkenazim do say Sid Kascha. A lot of times people don't even daven in the house of an Avil, so I don't know how applicable this is on Shabbos.
I don't know. There's this thing about 3 times the Sefer has to be read if you take.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think they try to
Source of that and everything is also a whole discussion.
Understood. I'm saying
Okay.
that's what they say.
There's a argument among the Sephardim and Ashkenazim also regarding Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur that fall out on Shabbos. Sfardim, based on the psak of the Shulchan Aruch, ruling of the Shulchan Aruch, is to say Sidkascha because it's times of judgment, of din. However, Ashkenazim, based on the ruling of the Ramah over there in Simin Tavkov Sadi Ches, say that you do not say it since it's a Yom Tov, it's a holiday. If a chazan made a mistake, very important halacha, this actually happened to me 3 weeks ago. If a chazan made a mistake and he began saying Kaddish at a time when you're supposed to say Kascha, okay? This is after Shemona Esrei, of course, before Aleinu. You would finish the Kaddish and you would say Kaddish, and then after you would say Kascha. Don't say Kaddish again, you just go straight into Aleinu. The footnotes say this: if you say these 4 words of Kaddish, the first 4 words, then you have to finish Kaddish, okay?
This is what we saw, right?
Yep. This is where we saw it. Okay, points out another topic that isn't focused on so much on the commentators on the page of the Torah and Shulchan Aruch with the Noisy Kalim, and that is there's a custom not to say hi, not to greet someone. You don't say good Shabbos to someone between Shkia and Sizuchavim, at the end of Shabbos, between sunset and when 3 stars emerge. The reason is because of the Avelus, the mourning for Moshe Rabbeinu's death, as well as Yosef and David. However, a lot of times, a lot of Svarim are trying to find a legitimate reason for this custom, and they don't say it's because of this reason. So that itself is a discussion. It's out there. We'll see a little bit more about this.
I think you're supposed to say good Shabbos after Shkia. You say good to somebody or whatever. It's just like totally ignore them, like on Tisha B'Av.
Yeah, I mean, you don't say totally ignore. Yeah, you don't say good Shabbos. Meaning, so what do you see when you greet someone? You could say good and something, you know.
Say a good one.
Yeah. Seems like according to this, you don't even say shalom. Just don't say those words shalom. You say something else. Say how's it going? Good and it's fine. It's not saying shalom.
Yeah.
So you do it a little different. Yeah. Okay, so now we have one more thing to wrap up the simon. I don't think we're gonna do it in 5 minutes. It's not possible. But Farfanis has a lot of nice chuvas over here on the simon, as you can tell by the real estate of what's highlighted over here. So we are in the next session of Mitzvah Hashem. We are gonna finish these chuvas and finish the simon, very relevant. And we're going to get a lot of insight over here. Okay, from these chuvas. Just going to talk about, if you run out of time, a lot of applicable things. Pirkei Avos a little bit. Did we see his chuva on Pirkei Avos? I think we did. We did it?
I don't remember about his chuva specifically.
I think we did. Okay, let's learn about the greeting someone. This is a short one we can do in 4 minutes. Regarding the custom of not greeting someone. Okay. He says the main time to refrain from this is Bein HaShmashos, in between sunset and when 3 stars emerge at the end of Shabbos. Shagor b'fi ha'olam shein loimer Shabbos. Good Shabbos. The Shabbos le'izah. It is regular in people's mouths.
Wow.
It's well known. You don't say good Shabbos. Bein HaShmashos, Shabbos.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. There's there's a new place right now. Actually, I'll go. Never mind. Sorry.
V'chipashti b'svarim v'lo matzasi haminag. Says Rav Harfness, I looked in Svarim. I couldn't find the custom about this. Could not find anything. It says it appears that the source of this custom is because of the Avelus of Moshe, mourning for Moshe. Similar to what the Ramah writes in Siman Reish Sadi Beis. In Koivin Midrash Bein Mincha L'Marav Ar Siman, you don't learn between Mincha and Marav. That's like with the whole base Midrash and a lot of people, etc. In honor of Moshe, who died at that time. And it says in the Mishnah, Nasi Shemei is called Bati Hamidrashus Batelim. When a Nasi dies, everyone stops learning. Calls all this farm in the base Medrash, and that's it. Similarly, an avil is aser b'she'ila shalom. Someone who's in mourning, he doesn't say right?
Shalom.
The way that he greets people is different,
Mhm.
right? Didn't say shalom. However, according to what I wrote, says Rav Harfenis in the Nishma Shabbos, the Sefer on Avelus. He has a few Svarim on Avelus, which are real sources, by the way. Chelik Aleph Siman Chaf. That it's not so simple that saying Safra Tova, good morning, is included in greeting someone. Also over here, just don't say good Shabbos alone. Just don't say shalom. Nothing to do with saying good Shabbos. Just switch it up, but just go say, how you doing? I like what you were saying. Good. Switch it
So
up.
he says, like, let's say Tisha B'Av, according to him, you could say good morning to somebody.
Where did it say that?
I'm gonna think about Sheino Boro Shamiras Tzafra Tava Hu B'Chlal Sheila Shalom.
Yeah.
It's not clear about it.
No, that's when you're saying Safra Tova.
That's good morning.
No, you're doing it in a different language, so it's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we learned Simon Pei test, we discussed, we came out from at least when we did it 13 years ago. You should not say good morning before you say Baruch Shamar, before you say Shachris in the morning, even if it's after Baruch Shachar. Right? You shouldn't say Shalom also. But saying Boker Tov is fine for an American because it's something that usually isn't done here. And it shows that you're changing how you're greeting someone in the morning and you're putting Hashem before the other person.
So if you see
Same thing over here. If you say Boker Tov, if you say Safar Tov,
right.
you could say, how's it going? You're changing it. So it's not just saying good Shabbos, it's any greeting like that. Okay, so Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow we will finish up these chuvas, wrap up the simon, and then we're going to start with the review. So the review will take 2 sessions because I don't want to rush it. Perhaps I could take 1. I doubt it. It's 11 pages.
So again, just go back to that one nuance in the morning. Saying good morning to somebody.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Before davening. So you said brachos already, right?
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah, you should not be saying good morning. And you shouldn't be saying shalom either, the word shalom.
So let's see if
Significance.
What's
Yeah, when I'm walking in the morning and they say good morning, I say hi. Is that socially so off? You're passing a random person in the street and you say hello? You could say hello. I don't say good morning.
What's the difference between Boker Tov and good morning?
Because it's in a different language, so it's a recognition that you're changing it up. When you say good morning,
so if I'm in Israel and I would say good morning, it's okay, but saying Boker Tov and Boker Tov here is okay.
That's already a question. That's already a question to look into more. That's already a question.
Good morning is okay. Just
that's why people say Boker, or that's why people say a Guten Morgen. They're changing it up. They're doing something different. That's the point.
Right here.
I think Boker Tov is fine. Right there.
Sort of meaningless. It's just greeting.
I think I usually say Boker Tov and to people who are Jewish, and if they're not, then I'll just say hi.
Okay.
Hi, how's it going? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mitzvah Hashem.
What's the other way here now? Inside?